Phillip TITOLO, Head of Insurance at Hunter Point Capital. Welcome to IPEM. Tell me a little bit first about Hunter Point. Really important because I think you're a bit different to most GPs out there.
Yeah, thanks for spending some time talking with me. So Hunter Point Capital is a GP solutions firm. What's really unique about it is we have a broad spectrum of solutions that we can offer our GPs. We were founded by Bennett Goodman and Avi Kalkstein about 6 years ago. And in that original idea of this business, we really wanted to have a GP capital stakes business to buy pieces of GPs and help them grow. But we also have expanded into financing for both the GPs and the funds that they manage. That's really, I think, the unique part of what we can bring to GPs is we're more than just capital, but we also have a variety of different types of capital available to them.
So let's unpick that a little bit. I mean, we've seen a lot of growth in alternatives. There are a lot more managers. We're in a market where managers are having to kind of think very hard about their solutions for things. It's a little bit gummed up in places. What's your take on it? You know, what is the sort of need right now that GPs are coming to you? What do you sit down and have a meeting here? What are they asking you for specifically? What are you hearing from them?
So GPs are really kind of trying to tackle two different needs for capital. One at their actual GP level, the management company. That's either they're trying to grow, expand, or they're trying to increase their commitments to their funds. They need financing for that. Some folks are trying to grow into other adjacent avenues of capital and funds that they haven't managed before. Sometimes we're also seeing the next generation of these leaders at these firms take over and need to be incentivized. And so we're seeing a lot of that at the manager level.
Sort of succession planning.
Succession planning, exactly. And the second part is actually at the underlying funds that you were referencing. A lot of the underlying funds, what used to be just a straight limited partnership equity investment for firms, what we're seeing now is that managers are looking for different ways to deliver the same type of products to those investors. When sometimes that means there's leverage that needs to be added. Sometimes they're looking for extension of funds, availability of capital, like a NAV loan. And sometimes they're just looking for different ways to think about how to structure an investment offering for their investors.
So let's have a little think about insurance, which is an area you're looking at every single day. Yeah. Tell me about the role of insurance in this market. You know, I think obviously people are fully aware that insurance plays a part, but exactly how is insurance and the sort of evolution of insurance in alternatives working?
Absolutely. So before I joined Hunter Point 2 years ago, I was head of portfolio finance at MassMutual and Barings. And what's interesting about what we built that business to do starting in 2017 was to help deliver different fund financing products to the alternative asset management community. Why did that start an insurance company, and why do I think this is a big area for insurance companies generally? It's because there's almost a borderline insatiable demand for high quality investment grade spread product for insurance companies. I think it's no secret, we have a longevity retirement issue around providing income for folks who retire. Long term, insurance with annuities and various products that they offer can help fill that gap. Those products need high quality investment grade spread products. Fund finance helps fill part of that gap, and that's really where I see the fund finance market, which we offer, and I run one of the fund finance strategies at Hunter Point, that we can deliver to both insurance companies and pair that with what the needs are of a GP.
Yeah. So just thinking about the insurance industry there, what sort of, when you talk about the kind of different products that would serve their policyholders and they're looking for, I guess, some outsized returns from the alternative space and they're allocating a certain proportion, what sort of proportion are insurance companies looking to put into alts, generally speaking? I appreciate it's quite a broad question. But.
So in the US, there's almost 6,000 insurance companies. It's really subdivided into three main types: life companies, property and casualty, and then health and other. The life insurance community is what a lot of folks think about when they think of insurance entering and pairing up with a lot of these alternative asset managers. That's partly due because the products that they sell to the public have a big long-term need for good long-term spread products. That's where you're seeing the convergence there. Traditional bonds, private placements, commercial mortgages aren't delivering that spread product as they used to 20 years ago. Because of that, we're seeing a lot of insurance companies consider moving into asset-backed financing, fund finance products, infrastructure debt, other more alternatives in the fixed income market.
And do we think, crystal ball time, I guess? I mean, do we think 5, 10 years down the line that it's just going to be absolutely mainstream, that everybody has an insurance play in the GP space? Or is it just going to be retained to those that are familiar with insurance, have some track record and history with it? How do you see that evolution going?
So I've been doing this fund finance for over 10 years for insurance capital. What I find interesting is 10 years ago, when I originally started the business, fund finance was maybe one panel at one conference every year. Now there's multiple dedicated conferences to fund finance around the world. I find that interesting because there's clearly a big interest in learning more about what different products are available, both from a GP's perspective, who are looking to grow and match what their investors need, as well as the insurance capital that provides those types of loans through managers like Hunter Point. Thinking about in the future, I always try to keep one thing in mind. Look at what the banks are doing. 20 years ago, fund finance was pretty much done only by banks. After the GFC, we've seen bank disintermediation be a major macro theme, and part of that has really driven the need for non-bank lenders, such as ourselves, to harness insurance capital and other pools of capital to provide those types of financings to the general partner community. Looking forward, I do see banks are not going away. They've been around since the Romans times. What's cool about it is banks tend to come in and out of markets over time. And what we're seeing now is that they're coming back into the fund finance space, but only in certain areas that match what they're trying to accomplish with their balance sheet. One unique thing about insurance companies, which I do think will persist in the future, insurance companies, especially life companies, can take a much longer term approach, meaning they can take a 10-year loan on their balance sheet, where banks, it's very hard to from a capital perspective. Because of that, I do see insurance marrying nicely with different fund finance products and being a new mainstay in this market.
Sometimes people argue that what we're seeing now is a sort of a competition between the banks and those in private capital providing fund finance. But it feels to me, based on what you just said, that it's actually a bit more of a partnership. You know, there's areas that they go and that's fine, and they have subscription lines. And there's areas that you go that don't necessarily suit the liabilities that they need to match for them. And it's a space where you go. So if anything, it feels quite collaborative to me. Is that too naive a point? Or?
No, I think it's spot on. It's exactly a way that we're seeing. It's more about partnering with banks now rather than competing with banks. You've seen some tie-ups in the direct lending space in that vein. I think you're going to see more of that in the fund finance as well.
Philip, thanks so much for talking. Let's go and enjoy IPEM.
Great, thank you for the time.